Everyone's chasing these complex AI systems, but the truth is simplicity scales faster. Simple is better. And microsites prove that a single focused system can outrank entire teams using big AI. It is the simplest thing that I've ever seen that leads to big revenue, right? The smaller your system, the faster AI compounds. And that's exactly how people are turning $10, a $10 website build, a $10 microsite build, into $1,500 a month contracts. Now we're going to move fast in this video. We're going to go over concepts that are going to help you out right now, right? Somebody in the Rank Expand Academy reached out to me and they said, hey, look, I just scored my first deal. I'm like, okay, tell me about it. And it was a $1,500 a month deal based upon what I've talked about in the Academy. And I was very, very surprised and impressed all in one because this is such a new community. It's one of the fastest growing ones on School. And this person joined like within a week, they had a deal. And I'm like, man, how did you do it? So we're going to talk about some strategies we can do it fast too, right? So one deal equaled $1,500 a month. Two deals would be this. Six deals, if you got 6 deals, it would be $9,000 a month. That's a lot of money, right? And the margins are usually pretty darn high. But I want to talk about some things before we, get in there too far. The whole concept of microsites is this. We want to pair a very lucrative, a very high purchase intent keyword, right, to a local area. So if I go to Dallas, Texas, or Fort Worth, what are some industries people type in that it's going to cost them a lot of money? Think of roofing. If you need a new roof, you're paying 10 to 20 grand, right? It's going to cost you a lot of money, but it's a lot of competition for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to do crawl space Dallas, Texas, right? If you have a crawl space, you have a foundation issue, you're going to pay probably 2 grand to 15 grand. It could be a huge job. Therefore, if we create microsites in these specific areas in a very specific way, and we get a lead, like lead generation, that lead is worth a lot of money, right? Especially if you're the business owner and you can service the work. So what the person did in Rank Expand Academy is they approached a business owner, right? And they got the deal. So let's talk about this a little bit more. What does this actually look like when we are successful? So this is my emails from today. I'm recording this video. This is from today, right? Monday. You can see it October 6th. I'm recording this at that date. And you can see all these leads just came in. And this is what it looks like. To the left is called what converts. That's the phone system we use for phone numbers. So every website has a unique NAP, name, address, phone number. And you can see here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different leads that came in. Now, I don't think all of them are going to be 100% legit. I think some will be spam. But the point is we build these microsites, we let them cook, and then leads come in. And we have AI agents answer the phone. It's pretty wild. And then if we go a step further, this is what it looks like when our system sends out the lead to the clients who buy the leads from us, right? You can see here, hey, Sherry, we have a new lead for you. So the person we're selling this lead to, their name is Sherry. The prospect's name, their phone number, the date, right? Project's description. I'm omitting some things so you can't figure out my niche. The call duration was 2.38 minutes. They can listen to the recording. The whole idea here is I'm talking about simple systems. A simple system is this. Build a website, let it cook for a little while, and then leads come to the website that you sell. Now in the Rank Expand Academy, you're going to come up to Classroom and then you're going to scroll down to Scale in Microsites. Now microsites is only just one module out of a bunch of modules in the Rank Expand Academy. But if you're interested in this, you're going to have a whole big old opportunity to learn, right? Everything's here ready for you. So if there's a system in place, right, how did this person come to the Academy quickly and get a deal so fast? So here's one way to do it, right? Here's one way. So let's say that we want to get the crawl space Dallas, Texas, and we're thinking to ourselves, okay, we know there's money here, we know there's opportunity, and I want to pre-sell my microsites. In other words, I don't want to do anything until I know I have a buyer on the hook, and that's what they did. I think that's super smart. Basically, you say, hey, Bob, I've got these websites that I can build for you for pretty darn affordable. They can pull in a lot of leads. Are you interested? Right? How can we identify people to, reach out to? And what we can easily do, and you can do this right now for free on Google, is just type in a service plus a location and scroll down. And you're going to find ones like this. So you have this company right here. If I click on it, look, they have 134 5-star reviews. If these people created a simple website, they would make buckets more. And I mean buckets more. It is a ridiculous opportunity for them. It's humongous. They're making money. They're making money because they're getting leads and they're like the top 10 of Google Map, the map pack in Dallas, Texas. And I'm just curious what their what their issue is, why they don't have a website. So when you're out in the wild, or if you want to be more proactive, you can just come onto Google and you know that you can build these microsites for super cheap. Here's another one, right? Centurions Construction LLC. Imagine coming up to them and saying, hey, look, hey guys, I'll build you a website for 500 bucks a month. And if it brings in leads, cool. If it doesn't, we can build more websites. There's many ways to cut this. Because the microsites are so affordable to build, you have a huge margin on it. Therefore, if you want to get clients, the only thing that's holding you back is yourself. Now, the money is important. I want to go a little further in the money. So there's 4 basic ways to monetize. I guess there's 5, right? I'll do the 5th one last. So if you have successful microsites, or even if you pre-sell the microsites, right? There's 5 different ways to sell these and make money. I described up here, right? That's flat fee bulk. In other words, that person in the academy, in the Rank Expand Academy, is going to sell probably 10 to 12 different websites for a flat fee of $1,500 a month, right? Very cool. Another way to do it is flat fee per lead. Sometimes people will build these microsites preemptively and then sell the leads as they come in. You can make a lot of money that way too. And then you can also do very similar to that, is based upon a percentage per lead. So let's pretend that I sold a lead to one of these companies for a crawl space in Dallas, Texas. And we had an agreement that I get 10% of any job sold. So if they sell a job for 15 grand, one job, then we get 10% of that. That's $1,500. The tricky part is it's hard to track that, right? But at the highest form, and I've seen this a few times over the years, is equity in the company. Because if you're so successful and you have so many websites in a local area and you feed a company over time, right, and they love it, and it becomes kind of their life source of leads, well, that's a lot of power, right? And they may offer you something like equity in the company, or you can talk about it with them. And the 5th is you self-service, right? And I see a lot of people in the Rank Expand Academy doing this. That means you are the business owner, right? So you want leads for yourself. Instead of hiring, what would it be, Angie's List or Home Advisor, which I think are one and the same now, right? You are just becoming a miniature one of those. And instead of sharing the leads, because those platforms typically share the leads amongst 5 different companies, and they sell it for like 150 bucks a pop. Think about that for a second. That's crazy. So coming back here, flat fee per lead. Angie's List and Home Advisor will sell leads to multiple companies, one lead. Therefore, for each lead they sell, they're making like 500 bucks plus. Crazy. But that was a kind of a tangent. If you are the business owner, you can just do the work yourself. You will make the lion's share of money. Now, I want to go over some of our website's charts here in a second. But before we do, this is pretty important because someone asked me recently, they said, look, Rank and Rent, which this is, has been around forever. And I think it's saturated. I don't think it's going to work. But if you take a step back and you start to think about it, it definitely is going to work. It's not even close to saturated. So there's 50 states. Let's assume each state has 100 cities. I know that's not true, but we're making an assumption. Let's say there's 5,000 distinct markets and there's 500 viable niches for Rank and Rent, which will effectively give us 2.5 million different markets, right? Because when you look at the combination of the city, the location plus the niche, the amount of markets is ridiculous. I would be surprised if Rank and Rent, even hits 1% of that, even 1%. It's a wide open market. People are not doing this to the extent of, satiating this need right here of 2.5. Not even close, not even close. So here's some charts. This is cool. Let's get to a good one. Where is a good chart? All right, this one here is a singular website. As you can see, sometimes Google, and remember, we build out websites in like hubs of 15, right? 10 to 15. You can see here, Google tested us in the beginning of January, and boom, in April, it started to give us love. And now this website's really cranking, position top 3, I would say, right? Average rank is 4.5 up here, but we don't need, average position is good. All we need is one keyword to really rock it, right? If we keep going over here, let's see this one. This is all domains. Do you see this right here? All domains. So this is one of our clusters. This is taken into account the whole 10 or 15, website cluster. The average rank is 4.9, but like I was saying, you have certain keywords that drive the revenue. You don't have to rank number 1 for all of the keywords. All you need is like a weird fringe city plus service. That's the cool part. How we build these websites is that we do location pages, service location pages, usually 25 location pages per website. So we only need one winner per website to really be rocking it. If we come over here, this is a cool chart to kind of show you the oscillation of Google. Sometimes Google loves you and sometimes they don't. But oftentimes, Google's going to test your website, and then if it likes it, it'll keep it there. But sometimes it'll take it out and back in, right? That's what I see often with these websites. So the cool part is, the overarching thing is, if you have a cluster of 15 websites, your chance at goal, right, your chance of opportunity and success is much higher than the people who only have one website for their business. And if you can create the website for $10 instead of $30,000 that designer websites cost, then you're going to win. Now, once again, I want to invite you to the Rank Expand community. This is one of the fastest communities on School. It is absolutely blazing. There's awesome conversations. There's 13 people online right now. One of the most active communities out there. If you want access to professional grade AI tactics, right? If you've never made your first $1,000 using AI, this community is for you, right? You want to learn how to do microsites, it's ready for you. And there's tons more on top of that.